Hello, you lot. I know it's been a long time since I've put a video up. It's just having to come up with something to post that's worth posting. There's no point in me putting a video up if I'm just going to put one up for the sake of it. If I've got nothing decent to post, I'm just wasting my time and yours. But anyway, for those of you that follow my Instagram, I will link in the description below. In fact, I've always linked it in the description below. If you're not already following it, please go and give me a follow. I recently, at the beginning of the week, put a question poll up asking people to ask me any questions. Personal, obviously not private, personal, just to get to know me a bit better. Because I got the impression that a lot of you don't really know that much about me, and I thought it'd be a good idea, give you a chance to get to know me, ask me things that you're probably thinking, I wonder if she does this, or I wonder what goes on with that. And funny enough, a lot of questions revolve around Madman and myself, and there are a few on here that I am going to answer. So, and I have got permission off him to answer these questions. I did mention about some of them being about him, and yeah, I've got to go ahead, so fuck it, I would have done it anyway. Anyway, I had quite a few questions, so I'm going to get started. Watch me cock this up, because I've screenshotted all the questions that you've sent me, and you watch, I'll end up repeating myself and having to edit the bastard thing. I've already tried to edit it once, and well, I've tried to film it once, realised my bloody headphones are plugged in and I couldn't hear a word I was saying afterwards, so I've already had to do it again. So this is take 2. So I'm going to start off with, how did I become a grease chick and what inspired me? This is from Humphrey Deathblood 29. Now, this is actually a hard question because nothing inspired me. I've always dressed how a grease chick would look, regardless. It wasn't until I got to early 20s I realised there was a style that was very similar to how I was dressing anyway. The only thing I didn't do at the time that made it look more authentic was the hair. I had short hair. But otherwise, I was always in my black and white Converse, Chucks as you call them, and a check shirt. This is one of the shirts I used to wear when I was at school. In jeans, in boots. Either boots or my black and white Converse, always. I was never a girly girl type dresser, and I wasn't into the old dresses and skirts and fancy hair and all that lot. So once I realised that people were able to dress and represent the 50s, and obviously I already listened to the music anyway, I decided to make a bit more of an effort, and I started to grow my hair out, and that's when I started messing around with hairstyles on myself. And I decided to stick to, I always wore my hair in a ponytail anyway when it started to grow out, so I thought, might as well adopt the grease chick style hairstyle. How did I meet Madman from Gingerbuzz? Now, if any of you watch Madman's channel, Cryptic Art, there's a chance you've probably seen how we met. If you were subscribed around or just before his 500 subscribers way back, he did a live stream. If you haven't seen it or you weren't there, go and check it out on his channel and watch it. I know it's a lengthy video, but you will see that was the first conversation I ever had with him. I subscribed to him when I was around, I think he had around 300 and something subscribers, and when he did the live stream, that was the first chance I had to speak to him. Just watch that video and watch his reaction. That was the first time I left a comment on one of his videos, and that's the first time I started to have a bit of a conversation with him. How tall is Madman? He's 6 foot without shoes on. When he's got his boots on, he's 6'1", and it makes me really tiny. I'm 5'5", so yeah, quite tall. What is the UK really like? That was sent from Braxton Elvis. I can't really give an opinion because I live here. What I will be able to do though in the future, I have announcement time. I have just booked tickets a couple of weeks ago to the US. So once I've been there, I will be able to give a more elaborate answer on that question. I'll be able to come back and explain to you the differences between the UK and the US. But otherwise, as far as trying to explain to you what the UK is really like, it's a bit of a hard question because it needs to be a bit more specific. Slickback Grizzly Bear asks, I was wondering if you're a rancher or a farmer of some kind because I've taken a lot of pictures with horses. Yes, on my Instagram I've got a lot of pictures of horses because yes, I do work with them. I work on a farm that breeds horses and my job is to handle them, get them used to all the tack. I help back them, or I have backed one, or depending on if they're being sent away to be backed, being basically trained to accept a saddle and a rider. And then they get sent away to either do that, or sometimes if the horse is quite laid back, we do it ourselves, which we have done with a few. And my job is to just train them and introduce them to things in order to sell them. Bit like a cowgirl, if you like. Feels like that sometimes. Now this is a question I see a lot of times, whether it's in comments or in general, if I post pictures or if Madman posts pictures of me and him somewhere, or questions or in general. Are you and Madman together? Yes, we are. Simple. Being a long distance relationship, yeah, it is. It has its difficulties. It involves a lot of trust. You need to be honest with each other. It has been a relationship for a long time, near on 2 years now, which links into this next question from 1950s Throwback 90. What sort of advice would I give to people who are starting to be in a long distance relationship? Like I said before, trust. If you can't, it's sort of the same with any relationship. If you can't trust each other, there isn't a relationship. If you're constantly at the back of your mind thinking, are they cheating on me? Are they going out with somebody else? Are they lying? What's the point? You've got to have trust and patience, a lot of patience, and unfortunately money, because depending on whereabouts the relationship is, obviously if it's in a different country, if it involves having to travel, flying travel, yeah, you're talking money, because you've obviously got to buy the plane tickets backwards and forwards. So it is a massive commitment, but if you're willing to trust each other and commit to it, there's other people that do it, so why not? If it works for others, why can't it work for you? Do I ever get judged from GLF Orca? I think that's what their account is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Do you ever get judged? Yes. I've never had any negative comments. A lot of them are all positive, and I can tell not from. I don't mean judge by like vocally judge. I get a lot of that as well, but you can tell, like, if you're just out and about doing your normal routine, if you're out walking somewhere if you're going to a shop somewhere, you can just get on with it, and you can feel the eyes on you. You don't have to really notice, although when you're walking around and you happen to glance at people and you know that they've had a bit of a stare at you and gone, oh, they're different. Get a lot of that, yes, because as far as I'm aware, I have never seen, while I've been walking around in my town, I have never seen anybody that dresses the same way as I do, or what I would class as vintage. There are a few people here and there that dress in other different subcultures, goth. I nearly knocked my bloody phone flying. Goth and punk, and there's a guy in our village who dresses like a skinhead punk, but otherwise retro. No, the majority of people are regular, just dress like regular. So yeah, I do get a lot of comments. Luckily, they're all positive comments. I've never had any bad ones yet. Someone here, Grease Pilgrims, put, so when are you a madman getting hitched? As soon as we raise Elvis back from the dead and he can perform a ceremony. No plans yet. It's just one of them, if it happens, when it comes round to it and the timing's right, maybe. Favourite TV show? Now this is a hard one, because those that know a bit more about me, I'm not really one for sitting and watching TV. If I had to say a TV show, I have got DVDs of a TV show which is from back in the 1940s. I don't have a modern TV show, like you got the Family Guy and stuff. I don't watch any of that. I'm more likely to be reading a book. I'm too old school. I act too old school. That's probably why I've got an interest in the vintage. But if I had to recommend a TV show that I think people should have a look at, it would be when Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin did the Colgate Comedy Hour back in the 40s, early 50s. If you're wondering what that is, it's a stand-up comedy show. If you Google it, if you YouTube it, there'll be some clips from the different episodes they did on the show, and I find it funny. I think it's one of them type of shows that we miss. I think we could do with something like that nowadays. My passion is obviously, apart from the vintage, the horses. I have my own. Ironically, it's called Joker, which was the inspiration for my YouTube name. She was born where I work, and at the time I had no intent on buying her, but I ended up taking her away to do some training, liked her, and bought her. Alexander the Great 995 asked, what a good greaser girl shoes to buy my girlfriend. Depending on if she likes her heels or not. I hate heels. I've got weak ankles, so I'm known for my ankle rolling even when I've not got shoes on, so I try to stay clear of heels, but anything with a kitten heel, which is probably about like that, if she's into the heels. If not, can't beat a good pair of flats, black plain flats, or if you can find any female, some engineer type looking boots, or saddle shoes, anything like that, depending on what our outfit is. Yeah, any of them will work. The Stray Cat 04 put, who's older, me or Madman? I am. By a year and 5 months. What drew me into the culture? That's from PG92. The music. I was obsessed with the music. My mum has some, well, my mum and my dad has some old 45 records. They were the first records or music that I used to listen to when I was a kid. I didn't really pick up a CD until I was about 12. I didn't buy any of my own music until I was 12, so obviously listening to all the older stuff from the 50s, 60s was all I ever listened to, and I think that's obviously played on that's played a part in my whole lifestyle choice, because I've just obviously grown to love it. Favourite band or artist? I don't really have one. I don't have a favourite as such. I like to listen to all sorts. I'll tell a lie. I do have a favourite artist, but they're not rockabilly or rock and roll. They're more country, and that's Patsy Cline, and that's because I grew up listening to it. But as far as bands, I don't have a one. I like bits and pieces of everything. I can listen to it all. And that is it. So thank you to everyone that took the time to send a question on my Instagram. Like I said, I will leave my Instagram below in the description box, so if you want to follow me, please feel free. I also have a Facebook page which I will leave in the description box below as well. Otherwise, I'll try my best to try and put up some more videos on a regular basis. Like I said, I've got a book that I write it all down in when I get random ideas. I just tend to, like I said at the start, there's no point in me putting a video up if I'm not going to talk about anything that's going to interest you. If I'm just going to bother shit out of you, what's the point? I have got quite a few interesting things coming up this year already. I've already mentioned about going to the US, which I will definitely vlog, because I will be meeting up with Madman then, obviously. So I'm sure he will as well, but I'll be taking some videos, clips of all the crazy stuff that we get up to, and I'll be doing a video, and I have got a special video in mind for when I meet up with him, so keep your eyes open for that when it comes round to it. April next month I am doing a vintage photo shoot, which I'm hoping to record and get some clips of and what happens over there and show you the process, so keep an eye out for that. I've also booked tickets to go and see a band who's playing locally called the Blue Jays. They do a lot of covers from the older popular groups such as your Buddy Holly, Bill Haley, the Comets, all your top people, Chuck Berry, just all the popular songs from back in the 50s, the rock and roll, rockabilly type. So yeah, that'll be good. That's not till October though, so that's even further down the line in the year. But yeah, there are a few things I have got planned that I would like to share with you. But otherwise, I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you soon. Bye.